Wilde if I have not met you personally. If I haven't met you personally, I will meet you personally at some point. If I have met you personally, welcome as a new coach. Like, welcome to coaching. It's so awesome. And so in this first video, I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of my story, why I became a coach, a Beachbody coach, and kind of what it brings to my life. So I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of, you may think that it's one thing, or you may think that it's a couple things, but just kind of want to give you an idea of what it can bring to your life that you probably don't know yet because you haven't started coaching, because it's really made a huge change in my life. And this team, the team that I'm connected to, has made such a huge change in my life. And so I hope it does the same for you guys. So I really just want to first talk about, what coaching really is. And I guess the best way to do that is to kind of give you an idea of my story. And I'm realizing right now that my computer is about to die, so I need to plug it in. So hold on just 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'll just give you an idea about my story, and I'll try and be brief because I can get long-winded in these things, and so I'll try to be brief. But so I'll first talk about that, just kind of growing up, and some of you know me from high school or college, but growing up, and I've said this in many videos, but I just matured really fast. And I just grew. And I'm just going to stand up so you can get the full idea of this, but I was about this size. I'm 5'7.5", and I'm skinnier now, but was probably bigger than this. I probably was like a size 6, like a full size 6. Pretty much since I was like 12 years old, so in 6th grade. And at that point, I had started my period. I had boobs. I was just a bigger girl and just matured super fast. And so to me, that meant I was fat. And basically, I couldn't fit into my friends' clothes because they hadn't matured yet. And to me, they were skinny and pretty. I always say this, but looking back, there were a couple of my friends that were like, oh, we wanted to have boobs and we wanted to be bigger and be full figured. And to me, I was like, I was wanting anything to have nothing to do with that. Like, I would literally pray that God would like take away like the curves and the boobs and things like that. Which is just funny. You always want, what you don't have. But it just caused me to be really awkward growing up. I just didn't like myself. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I didn't feel like I could ever accomplish being skinnier. I mean, my parents would say, my dad's a really big guy. He's like 6'5" and just broader. And his side of the family is just bigger women. They're not fat, but they're just like 5'8", 5'11". And so my family would just say, you're just bigger. You're not fat. You're just big boned. And I believed that. I just believed I was big boned until my metabolism totally changed when I went to college. It was like my 2nd year of college, and I was just as active as I always was. I was always super active and never tiny. But I was just as active as I always was, and I lost like probably 15 pounds. And I was just like, what happened? Like, I had friends be like, is everything okay? Like, are you having a problem from high school? And it really was just my hormone levels just flipped, and I just lost a lot of weight, and it stayed that way for a really long time. And then right before I had Halston in 2010, or right before I got pregnant, I started doing P90X. I had a lot of time on my hands, and I was like, I'm just going to dedicate myself to this, and I'm going to see if I can get stronger and if I can get leaner. And I totally did. My ex-husband at the time was an ex-pro hockey player, and he was just like, you have like a ton of muscle. Like, I can't believe this. And, he was noticing it, and I was noticing it, and I was eating great, and I was just so pumped. It was like the first thing that I really stuck to, that I was like, God, I'm so strong. And more than that, I started out being able to do like 2 pull-ups, and then, in the allotted amount of time later, I could do like 15 or 20. And I was just like, I can see myself getting stronger. This is so cool. So literally like 90 days after I started P90X, I got pregnant with Halston and had a horrible pregnancy. And I'm just going to put it all out there, but in so many ways, bad pregnancy. My ex-husband was totally not on board, got very freaked out by the fact that we were actually pregnant and having a kid, even though we very much planned it. was just, and will admit now, just totally freaked out about that. There was a lot going on there, a lot of distress, and it led to me leaving the relationship for a lot of reasons. And I won't go all the way into that now, but it was a lot of distress. And I was scared at one point that I would maybe miscarry from all of it. And we've moved past that since then, but it was a really scary time. And on top of that, I was super duper duper sick for the entire pregnancy. I started at like 5 weeks throwing up every day. And that didn't stop until like 2 to 3 days after he was born. So, and during labor, all of it. So I literally used to drive in the car going to work with trash bags in my car, throwing up like at the red lights. It was crazy. And so, yeah, so on top of that, I moved from Calgary, from Canada, separated, which was really hard, and was 5 months pregnant, which was scary and hard, and my whole life was uprooted. I had a 4 or 5 bedroom house in Canada, and 2 cars and all my clothes and all my stuff, and that was all left there for an entire year. And just wanted to be healthy and safe, and came back to Houston. And I didn't just coast. I was 5 months pregnant. I got a job back in my career. Let them know I was pregnant. They were like, we don't care. I never missed a day pregnant. And I worked up until my water broke in my chair at work. And ended up having Halston. I was able to take 4 weeks off. That's all. And anyway, just never looked back. I got another job after that was even better. And now I work in investor relations and corporate communications for an oil field service company. But there's just always something, I'm a very spiritual person. And over the last, I would say 2 years, I've grown so close to God. I've grown so, I've become so clear as to how much he loves me as a person, and how much worth I have in God's eyes. Maybe not in anyone else's eyes in the entire world, but in God's eyes, he loves me even more than you can imagine your parent loving you. And maybe that's not your belief, but it is definitely my belief in that faith and that real spiritual feeling that I felt in so many ways from God and from Christ. Just has completely changed my outlook on life, has completely changed what I believe I can accomplish and do. So I wanted to always help people. I wanted to find a way. I started a blog, and I didn't know what it was going to blog about, but it ended up being really just a faith blog. And a friend of mine said when I was halfway into it, I was like, I didn't know it was going to be that, but it ended up, and she was like, yeah, I mean, you write and you talk about what you love and what inspires you. And it was so true. And it was just at a time where I was sharing like my deepest, darkest parts of myself, and people were reaching out and just saying like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling with that. Thank you. I'm trying to work through that right now. And I love that. It felt like a niche where I could connect with people. But it wasn't like the long-term effect that I really wanted, as far as like changing lives and helping people and like truly loving other people and igniting a change and like doing something to help them. And I just felt God pulling at my heart saying like, you always try and help yourself, and you always try to be better for other people, but like help other people, like do something, follow it through, like learn someone inside and out, like get to know them, get to understand what makes them tick and what their goals are, help them, and I just struggle with like where that is. So like the blog, it was awesome and everything, but I don't know. I felt like I was helping people, but it was just so quick and incremental. And sometimes people read it, sometimes people don't read it, and it was kind of like, it was more, it wasn't as relational that I thought it would be. But it was relational, and I love it, and I'm still writing it, but it just wasn't as relational. So I was just really praying about it, and a friend of mine, Sarah Graves Perry, sorry, I always think of her as Sarah Graves, but Sarah Graves Perry was like, hey, I see you posting like every single day, that you're working out and that you're eating healthy, and like you're not getting paid for that. And I just found this business where you can get paid for like posting what you're already doing, which is working out, eating clean, like spreading the joy of like healthy living, because it's something that I really, really love and am passionate about. but I never felt like I was an expert at it. So I was like, I mean, I'm just posting it, but it's not like I could be a trainer. And like, I'm not an expert. I don't know. Like, you know, it was a scary feeling to share. And she just said, like, it's Beachbody, and have you ever heard of that? And I was like, no, I don't, maybe. And she was like, well, it's the people who developed P90X and Insanity. And I was like, oh my gosh, like P90X, that was like the best workout I ever did in my life. And that really changed so much. And if I wouldn't have had Halston and then had to struggle with the divorce and all these things, I would have kept going. I would have, you know, stayed on track. And the other thing was I didn't have a coach or a trainer or anyone to keep me on track with that. So it kind of went by the wayside, you know, with my sickness and my pregnancy and struggles and everything like that. So when she told me, like, it's that company and you're basically like just helping other people to find these products and, you know, become the healthiest they've ever been in their life, and you get to like help them with accountability and be there for them, I was just like, done. And I've had a couple coaches that have been like, oh yeah, I can share my journey. I can share health and fitness with other people. Done. Sign me up. You know, and that was really how I was. I was like, I basically YouTubed Beachbody coaches for 48 hours straight. This was New Year's Eve, guys. And I had recently gone through a breakup 3 months before, and I was like really committed to this new year in 2015 to be like the best year yet, and just to be like intentional and to seek out God's will for me and follow it, and not be self-seeking, but to be, you know, Christ-seeking. And I just felt called to it. Every single YouTube video I watched was not anything to do with selling. It was all about helping people be healthier and happier. And I was just like, I just felt a calling. I truly, and I told my upline coach, Aaron Whaley, it was like, I truly feel called to this. Like, I started posting that I'm a coach and I want to start helping people. And the stories that were coming into like my Facebook message and my email, I was bawling. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I've been there. I did that. Like I went through a divorce. Fitness kind of saved me, you know, and like helped me be healthy and helped me pull out of some bad habits and some bad self-thought and, you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And I'll kid you not, on Sunday morning, my brother, it was like the 5th coach I signed up like within 3 days. And all these people were just like, I wasn't selling. And just so you guys know, my background is sales. Like I have been a salesperson for probably the last 7-8 years. And I've been really good at it. And I was not selling anything. I was literally sharing the product and not having to pressure anybody, not having to push any. I was like, if you don't want it, you don't want it. Like, that's fine. Like, I was just like, I'm so excited and come on this journey with me because I'm starting this and I'm going to do this for my health and I'm going to commit to this. And so many people were like, I've gained 150 pounds since high school. Like, I'm at my lowest. If you can help me, if you can throw me a life raft, like, please, like, I'll do anything. And just all these things. And it happened this Sunday morning. My son was sick and we couldn't go to church. And I had an amazing story from a friend that I had lost touch with that was really interested in joining a challenge group. And my brother signed up and he was like, sign me up for Shakeology and sign me up for Insanity Max 30 and it just like hit me and it broke me. And I literally on my knees in front of my coffee table sat weeping and praying to God for like 15 minutes and just saying like, I know you're calling me to this. Like, please, God, help me to do this well. Like, help me to do this work well. Help me to be like a shepherd for people. Help me to go before them and help them. You know, help me to give me the strength to be able to have the fortitude to keep doing this. And because I know that that's where he's calling me to be. So I know probably not everyone has such a spiritual experience, but I did. And I think another big reason is because every single person that I YouTubed, like, again, I said no one was selling, but everybody was like personal development and growth and you loving yourself and learning how to set goals and learning how to plan and learning how to achieve things and be successful in life, not in money wise, is a huge part of Big Beachbody. In fact, it's one of the 3 vital behaviors. So the 3 vital behaviors that you'll hear all the time as a coach is invite, invite, invite. You want to invite everyone you know and not sell. You just want to say like, this is what I'm doing and just, what do you do? And just start conversations. And again, it's a great way to be in community with people and just get to know people better. So you want to invite. You want to be a product of the product, which is if you're a coach, you can sign up for $39 and just be a coach, and that will be your only startup fee ever. But you really do need to be a product of the product because, again, we're not salespeople. We're really trying to help people. So you can't help people if you don't have experience with it. So for me, I bought a challenge pack, which is the first thing you would do as a coach. And it's one workout program and Shakeology on Home Direct. And I had high hopes for Shakeology, and it is has changed my life. Like one of the biggest issues when I was younger and when I was heavier was not so much the number on the scale, but more I felt bad. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I didn't feel like clothes fit me right. And really, I have like chronic bloating. I have my whole life. Like I wake up in the mornings and I'm like, again, I'm bloated. Like I can't, it's all the time and it's real bad. And Shakeology has totally taken away all my bloating. Like you guys, I can't. I mean, I still wake up in the mornings and my first thought is like, I'm not bloated today. Again, like, is this really going to keep happening every day? Like I'm no longer bloated. It is the best feeling in my life. My digestion is like amazing. You know, Shakeology like lowers your cholesterol. Just drinking Shakeology before I got my insanity, I started drinking it like 3 days before. And so before I started working out, I was drinking the Shakeology and I lost 2.5 pounds, like not changing anything else. So it's just amazing, and it's been amazing for me. So you have to be a product of the product. I don't see how you can truly help people and share it without like having those results and like knowing what the products do. On the flip side of that though, before I really and truly like knew what they did, I was kind of like recruiting people like, come on this journey with me. Like, look at all these other results. And that's totally what you can do. You don't have to be a Star Diamond coach. I'm not a Star Diamond coach. I'm an Emerald coach, guys. So I became an Emerald coach in 3 days, and I am on my way to Diamond. But I want to make sure that I get coaches that really want to coach. I don't want to sign people up and then have them fall off. So I'm not in a rush to make Diamond. I want to make sure that I build like a true solid team. So if you're part of my team, welcome, and I'm so excited. If you're not part of my team and you want to be, I can promise you that I'm going to commit to being a good leader and learn every day how to be a better leader. But anyway, guys, so we're going back to the 3 vital behaviors. So invite, be a product of the product. The 3rd vital behavior is personal development, and I just love that. Like any business, it's a $1 billion business. Any business that's going to say like personal development and growth and spiritual growth and you working on yourself and you understanding how to achieve your goals is a vital behavior in our business. That's an amazing company. That's somebody that I definitely want to work for. And that too, I mean, some people have said like, is it a pyramid? Is it that? Like, first of all, no, I've looked up what a pyramid scheme is, and it's not a pyramid scheme. And a pyramid scheme is something that actually doesn't sell a product. There's no product, which is the scheme behind it. Our products are amazing and they're a household name and everyone knows who they are. Plus, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. You can look that up. If anybody's like, what kind of business is this? Or if you're worried yourself, it's A+, which is not easy to get. You have to have like very little issues and all resolved issues. And so I just feel really excited that I work for a company that is just so focused on personal development and growth. And they're just so elite in what they do. So those are the 3 vital behaviors. And yeah, so I just wanted to kind of tell you guys my story and why I got into coaching. I mean, for me, it just made sense to help people. And that is literally, that's like the motto of Beachbody is like, we're here to help people live their healthiest life. And you know, another thing in that is if somebody doesn't want that, that's fine. Like you don't need to push anything on anyone. This is literally you like living out your journey. And what I love also about it is that it keeps me accountable to be healthy, to work out, to not miss a day, to not miss a workout. So if you are serious about fitness and about being healthy, it will help you do that too. I mean, people are going to be looking to you and saying, you know, how do we do this or that? Or, you know, did you work out today? Because I worked out today, and you kind of need to have worked out that day. It's hard to, you know, when you take a break. But that being said, sorry, I just saw a text. But that being said, you don't have to be perfect. I mean, that's why people want to follow you in this, because they see like, yeah, you're getting awesome results, but you're not perfect. Like maybe you go to the rodeo and you have a funnel cake, or you have a beer or a glass of wine, or maybe whatever. And like, you want to show people that you're not perfect, that you don't have to be 100% perfect to like get these results, because if you did have to be, no one would want to do it. And so like for me, I just came back from a wedding, and I was eating like a piece of like the Texas mini pie, and a friend of mine was like, that's not a shake, Lauren, like that's not on the diet. And I was like, that's so funny, because I guess people think that's all we do, but it's not. Like, and so I want to show people like, yeah, I'm going to eat a pie. I ate a pie and a cake that night, and I had like 2 glasses of wine. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's totally fine and normal, and you want to show people that, and you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be perfect at fitness either. You just have to do it. You just have to want to be healthy and to put in the work. And the other thing is, guys, is that when you start coaching, and if you join a challenge group and you want to know what a challenge group is, and I have another video that goes more into that, but you don't have to recreate the wheel. There's me and there's other coaches before me that have put together templates for like every single post that you post in a challenge group. So you're not just coming up with like, what am I supposed to post today? How am I supposed to interact with my challengers? In fact, for every single fitness program, Beachbody already has like a daily post. So I kind of change those up with what I think my group's going to like. But we can talk about this later, but you also can have automators like Buffer app or Hootsuite, where I can literally take all those posts, modify them a little bit, change my own pictures, whatever, and just copy and paste them into Buffer, and they will post on those specific days. And I like never have to look at that again. All I have to do is check in with my challengers, see how they're doing, interact with them. That's all. So if for any of you who are thinking like, oh my gosh, that whole Facebook side of things, and like, how am I going to be that organized? And don't worry about that, because first of all, we'll go over that in your Coach Basics training. But second of all, it's all done for you. So literally, you don't have to be like a Facebook or social media expert or a design expert. You just have to be a copy and paste expert. And again, you want to make it your own, but you don't want to spend hours and hours doing something that everyone's already done. So you know that you just don't have to worry about that. That's not going to be an issue at all. So yeah, I think I tried to cover everything. I've told you guys my story, why I started coaching. I am so glad that you've decided to do this. Definitely look through the 7-day quick start guide. You need to be doing those on the days that it says. Like if you're a go-getter like I was when I started, I did like 3 days in 1 day because I just wanted to move forward, and I wanted to start a challenge group, and I wanted to keep going. So if you are one of my personally sponsored coaches, I will put you in an internship group in Facebook that is just for new coaches. And it'll basically be like a day 1, do this today. Day 2, do this today. And it's like 10 days. It's not 60 days or 20 days. It's just 10 days so that you guys can get started right, and that you can start hosting your own challenge groups, getting your own Shakeology paid for. Just for you guys to know, and I'm just going to be real candid about this, but like I said, I work a full-time job. I'm the head of investor relations and corporate communication and development for a service company. So I have a very demanding job. I was able to earn $700 my first week of Beachbody, and you can do the same. Now, like I just watched a training with Stephanie Davies and some other coaches, and she was like, here was my first week of Beachbody. And I think she said like she sold like maybe 10 challenge packs or something like that. Which would be like $300, let's just say. And then she was like, or no, she said my first month I sold like 26 challenge packs or something, which is really good. And she said I earned $800, or let's just say. And then she said, but my 10th month I sold 6 challenge packs, and I earned $10,000 in 1 week. And that was because she had so many coaches under her that were doing the same thing and working their business. And she was like basically getting rewarded and getting bonuses for what they were doing. So also keep that in mind, is that if you want to just start this and build this with whatever time you have, I know a lot of you are busy like me, and I'm going to help you and train you to be able to be busy and still be really successful at this. And most of you, if you want to be a coach, you're going to be successful because you're going to be obsessed with it, because you love fitness and health. And you want to share it with people, and it's addicting. Like people get into it and they're like, I want to buy that. I want to do that. I want to coach, you know, and you're like, oh, it's a rush. Like it's so fun, guys. I can't even describe how fun it is. You're going to love it. But you want to really get serious about doing the coach basics. And when I say that, like, you need to do it, you need to do it. Like, it's vital. If you don't do the trainings, you're not going to know what to do. And then your customers or your new coaches are going to come to you and you're going to be like, I don't know what to do. Lauren, what do I do? And obviously I'm always going to be here for you, but I want to make sure that you have the best foundation that you can have. But going back to that, like, you know, once you start recruiting people to do this, that love fitness or that love health, or that were in your challenge group and you see like you're posting every single day and, you know, you're posting meals and you're posting your workouts and you're doing this, like you're doing what a coach does. Do you want to be a coach? And they end up signing up to be coaches. That's when you're going to see some crazy dollars come through. And some coaches that happen sooner than later. I will tell you guys that our Star Diamond coach, so my Star Diamond coach that's in my upline is Brandi Bought. So you're a part of her team also, which is Team TKO. And it's an amazing team. And it's a team that's full of like aspiration and love and joy and just like, it's just like uplifting. It's so great. And she'll help you so much and I'll help you so much. But she is a $1 million earner. I mean, she made Millionaires Club and she's only been doing this for 3 years. So if you think of that, like she did this enough to where she could quit her full-time job. She's a stay-at-home mom and working Beachbody full-time. She started making 6 figures within, I think, a year. And within 3 years, she's a $1 million earner, guys. And all she does is pretty much work out, stay healthy, which is what you want to do anyway, and share it with people on social media and word of mouth. So it's just, I mean, her story is inspiring. I will send you guys some coach stories so that you can hear some of the coaches that have had major, major success with this, what their stories are. But I think what's so awesome is that all of their stories, the root of it is they wanted to help people. None of them did this because they wanted to make money. And if you do, or if you're thinking about doing this just to make money, you shouldn't do it because you need to really care. You need to really want to make this your lifestyle or it's going to be hard to keep it up. That being said, the money is great. And, you know, we don't keep inventory here. Like your startup cost is literally a challenge pack. So whether that's $150 or $180, that is your total startup cost for a whole business. And Beachbody pays for all your website fees, they ship everything. You don't have to pay for any of that. You don't have to keep any inventory. You don't have to host parties or do any of that. You can if you want to, but that's not what we do. We've literally made, and Brandi has made, and Lindsay Matway, and Mindy Winder, and all these people before us, which I'll share with you, and I'll share their trainings with you. They've all made millions of dollars just by like doing the essential things, and just by sharing this business with people, and just by being on social media and word of mouth. So like Mindy Winder's story is amazing. She lives in like, I'm probably going to get this wrong, and I'm sorry, Mindy, if you see this, but I think she lives in North Dakota, somewhere like small town, North Dakota. And she has like a population in her town of like, I think hundreds. And she's a $1 million earner in Beachbody. So you don't have to know a million people. You don't have to have a massive network. You do need to go through the trainings and learn what it takes to, basically there's certain behaviors that you need to do every day that will just compound and will just add up. And speaking of personal development, one of my favorite books that I'm reading right now, and I will send you this if you're one of my coaches, is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And that's exactly what it talks about, is how every little tiny decision compounds to either something great and wonderful or something not so great. So he kind of teaches you how to spend your time, how to budget your time, I've got trainings on to-do lists and how, if you really stick to those, how you can reach your goal. Chalene Johnson, who is the leader in the developer of Chalene Extreme, Turbo Fire, PiYo, which is really popular Pilates yoga, which I'm sure you guys have seen, but she is the instructor in those videos and she's amazing, but she also is a motivational speaker. Not motivational speaker, but she's kind of like a life coach, but she's got a series called 30-Day Push, and it's how to be organized and have a perfect to-do list, even when you're not an organized person, to where you're not spending your time in the day on stuff that's meaningless. Everything you're doing in the day makes sense. So like, for instance, I work all day and I can't spend my time doing Beachbody all day, but I know that like from 12 to 1 and from 4 to 5, those are my 2 hours that I will allot to Beachbody or to something, checking of my challenge groups or something. But all the other hours of the day, I just can't do it right now. And it's about going at your own pace, guys. But I just want to welcome you to the team. Our team is Wilde Republic, and you're also part of Team TKO. So I just am so excited that you're joining us on this journey. I'm here for you. I want you to succeed. I want you to be like Brandi Bought, and a couple years from now, I'll be $1 million earner. But if that's not for you, and if you love what you're doing right now, and you just want to make $1,000 extra a month to pay for a car payment or daycare or a student loan that you want to pay off. I just actually posted a video of another Beachbody coach. She was calling in and she was like, I'd like to make a $12,000 payment to pay off my student loan. And she was bawling, crying. And she was like, I would have never been able to do this before. So I will get into like how the money works and how that all compounds and what that looks like. So that's really exciting. And in your 7-day quick start guide, you're going to see those videos for all those things, and you're going to get a great grasp of it. So don't think you have to know everything right now. But welcome to Wilde Republic. I know that you're going to be so successful. I am praying for you. I am here for you. I'm your cheerleader. So if you need anything, message me, email me, text me, call me. We will stay in touch. We will probably do Zoom calls like this, like a hangout call where I can see everybody right here and we can all interact. But you guys, I love you. I'm praying for you. I wish you all the best and health and happiness. And I will see you soon. Bye.